Our last performer tonight is Mr. Gary Zenker. A marketer by day, Gary writes flash fiction in various genres to challenge himself and his readers. His stories feature humor with a surprise bite. Gary is co-founder of the Mainline and Wilmington Writers Groups. Gary also has a podcast, 999 Words or Less, scheduled to debut in late in 2018 with reading and interviews with local authors. So may I present our last reader of the evening, Mr. Gary Zenker.
So what I want to start out with is I have the best role here. I really do. I get to invite a dozen or so friends who are amazing writers, as you've heard, to an evening where they get to read to a really welcoming audience. And sometimes I can offer them free food also. So that doesn't hurt. But what I also do is I touch them on the shoulder. And that's in an effort to loosen some of their writing talent fairy dust. And hopefully I can, by osmosis, absorb it and become as good as they are. So again, I'd like to give another round to all of the writers who came tonight. Some who came quite a distance, and some who are already part of the community. So since everything ran pretty much on time, I can read my piece. Well, I put myself last for a number of reasons, one of which is if everything runs too late, I can always cancel my own piece, and no one else gets upset. But this piece is called Statute of Limitations. Can everyone hear it okay? Debt, I asked. 4 to 10 years, depending on the state, she replied. Taxes? Federal. 3 years following filing of the return. 6 if they determine fraud. Sexual misconduct. Well, look at the news recently with Cosby and Weinstein. Apparently none. Murder. No limit. They can come for you at any time. But she interrupted me. So who? It's just theoretical, I answered. She stared me directly in the eyes. I know you. You don't know how to do theoretical. I bit at the cuticle of my right thumb and then spit a small piece of skin onto the floor. As your attorney, she began. As my attorney, you're bound by lawyer-client privilege, I finished for her. Only if you come for my representation afterwards. Not if I know about the crime ahead of time. And certainly not if it's a capital offense. She cited some legal brouhaha I didn't care about. You can't rely on spousal protection, you know. Spouses, you may know, can't be forced to testify against each other. But we aren't married anymore. We had an amicable divorce 5 years prior at my instigation. That is, if you can consider being forced to give your ex 7/8 of everything you own, with the exception of a classic Gibson guitar collection, to be amicable. I'm sure that her having to win at everything is a terrible burden for her, almost as much as it was for me. I'm not sure which she hated worse, my filing for divorce or her inability to clean me out entirely. But I did win my freedom. Well, if you can believe living in a one-room bedroom efficiency and struggling to pay my rent each month to be a win. It did improve our relationship. We could now sit in the same room together without arguing about virtually everything. And once every 2 weeks or so, we would grab cocktails and dinner, then hump like animals, no matter who either of us may be dating at the time. It's strange how a divorce and a forced colonoscopy can make someone more attractive. She still makes me pay for the dinner, of course. So what's your motivation, she asks me. Money? Revenge? Love? She emphasized the last word like one teenager goading another. I didn't respond. Ah, it's love then, she nodded and her lips curled to what appeared to be a tight smile. So let's see. She's otherwise involved, maybe married, probably married. You need a clean path. The husband has money. You aren't doing it for that, but it would be a nice bonus. You could use it, and she would lose it in the divorce. This is why she is the lawyer, and I'm living where I am. So you need a plan, she continued, an alibi, and maybe a defense in case the alibi isn't enough. Of course, I'm not really having this discussion with you, so... You know, there's nothing like a lawyer to help you plan out your next illegal act. They're the masters of loopholes. Suddenly, our dinner has become a business meeting, and I expect a bill much larger than the dinner check is coming my way. Lawyers don't offer anyone a family and friends discount, especially exes. 2 hours later, I have a plan better than I could have ever thought up myself, with all the angles covered. I have a plan, an alibi, and a smart lawyer in my corner. A week later, I'm with Betty, my Betty, and her soon-to-be deceased husband in an expensive hotel suite in a city hours from where they live together. A business trip for him / romantic surprise from her / murder opportunity for me. It's cliche, but I watch from the closet. 1 more sip and 2 more minutes, and he'll collapse to the floor. 5 more minutes, and his breathing will stop completely. The trick that the ex taught me wasn't to hide the cause of death, but rather point the blame in a different direction. It works in the courtroom all the time, she assured me. As I emerge from the closet, she kisses my cheek. I flip open the top of a medicine bottle and jiggle 2 pills onto the floor and kick them under the dresser to give the detectives a reward for their detailed examination of the room. He'll be discovered by housekeeping tomorrow, dead and walletless. Toxicology will show high levels of drugs in his system, matching the pills they found. The obvious suspect will be a mystery woman from a discreet out-of-town encounter while on business. Another cheating husband on a business trip. Not original, but entirely believable. Before we leave, his beautiful widow will go home to play the confused spouse when the police visit to inform her of the murder. But it's a shame to waste untainted champagne, so she and I take a moment to celebrate with clean glasses. We'll take them with us and dump them in a can at a convenience store somewhere between here and home. It's all so perfectly planned. We toast and we drink. Suddenly, I can't keep my balance. The room starts spinning, and it speeds up quickly. I drop the bottle and the glass, then fall to my knees. My love falls beside me. I'm paralyzed, but still conscious. My ex exits from the bathroom and appears over me smiling. She was hiding here before me? Too many damn hiding places in a luxury suite. My head spins. Our perfect plan. Her perfect plan. I poison the hubby, and then his wife, my new woman, and I accidentally poison each other, all wrapped neatly in a bow for the police. I hate when there's anything still left on the table, she says from above me. I can't be sure if she's referring to the champagne or my guitar collection. As my executor, I'm sure she'll figure out a way to get the guitars after all. Statutes of limitations. I forgot the most important one, a woman's scorn. Apparently, there's no time limits on that one either. Thank you very much.